All right, today we're diving into one of the most intense and honestly one of the most personal stories in the entire Bible, the book of Hosea. Get ready, because this is a raw, powerful story about love, betrayal, and a kind of commitment that just refuses to give up. So let me just start by asking you this. Really think about it. What if you were told to marry someone, to love them, knowing full well they were going to be unfaithful to you? Not just a one-time thing, but over and over again. How would you even process a request like that? It sounds completely impossible, right? But for this prophet, a man named Hosea, this wasn't some kind of thought experiment. No, this was a direct command from God that would end up defining his entire life. It became a living, breathing message for his whole nation. So you have to be asking why. Why such a heartbreaking, painful command? Well, because Hosea's marriage to his wife, Gomer, was never just about the two of them. It was designed to be a living metaphor for something way, way bigger. Think of it like a live-action play. Every character represents someone else. Hosea, the husband who stays faithful no matter what, he represents God. His wife, Gomer, who is repeatedly unfaithful, she represents the people of Israel. And her adultery? Well, that's a powerful symbol for Israel turning its back on God to worship other idols. And the book gets really specific here, which I think is fascinating. It talks about Israel loving cakes of raisins. Now, that sounds like a weirdly random detail, doesn't it? But it turns out these raisin cakes were a common offering made to Baal, who was a popular Canaanite god at the time. So this tiny detail is actually this huge symbol of their spiritual betrayal. Now, to really understand just how deep this story goes, we've got to decode a couple of really important Hebrew concepts. It all comes down to a very specific kind of love that's at the very heart of this whole conflict. Okay, the first word is hesed. This is so much more than our idea of love as just a feeling. It's this steadfast, loyal love that's based on a covenant, a binding promise. Our source material calls it a dogged fidelity. It's the kind of love that digs its heels in and says, no matter what you do, I will not let you go. And the second word you need to know is da'at. It's often translated as knowledge, but it doesn't mean knowing facts about God, like you're studying for a test. No, it means an intimate, personal relationship. It's that deep connection where what you believe and how you behave are completely intertwined. It's knowing God through your actions. So when you put those two words together, you get the core tension of the entire book. On one side, you have God's relentless, stubborn hesed, that covenant love that won't quit. And on the other side, you have Israel's total lack of da'at, their failure to know God intimately and respond to that incredible love with faithfulness. So, what happens when this sacred relationship is so completely shattered? Well, that brings us to the most dramatic part of this story, the actual price of redemption. After Gomer leaves Hosea, her life spirals downwards, and she ends up in what seems to be slavery. And then, God gives Hosea another absolutely shocking command. Go find her. Go buy her back. He's told to act as her Goel, her family redeemer, and pay whatever it takes to set her free. The first part of that price, 15 shekels of silver. Now, you have to understand, that number is huge. According to the law back then, the standard price for a slave was 30 shekels, so paying only half price, wow, that's a devastating statement about how worthless Gomer had become in the eyes of the world. It showed just how far she had fallen. And the rest of the price was paid in barley, about a homer and a half, or 10 bushels. The point is, her redemption wasn't cheap and it wasn't easy. It cost Hosea real money, real resources to bring his unfaithful wife back home. You might think the story would end there with this painful, costly transaction. But it doesn't. In fact, it builds to this surprising, incredibly hopeful conclusion, a promise of restoration. So despite all the betrayal and the consequences, the book of Hosea makes this incredible pivot toward hope. It looks forward to a day when this broken relationship will finally be healed, pointing toward a future golden age. And at the very heart of this promise is this incredible declaration from God. Just listen to this. I cannot give you up. My heart is changed within me. All my compassion is aroused. That is the very essence of that hesed love we were talking about. So when you put it all together, this raw, painful, but ultimately beautiful story of Hosea and Gomer is so much more than just ancient history. It's one of the Bible's most powerful, most enduring pictures of a love that is pushed to its absolute breaking point, and yet it persists. It refuses to let go. And that really leaves us with a big question to think about. This ancient story shows us a picture of a love that just refuses to give up. So, what does a love like that look like in our world today? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.